Hello students, again I welcome you all for the online classes of Triveni Memorial Senior Secondary School, and today by this video I am going to give you the explanation of the chapter The Address by Marga Minko, and this chapter is from the book Snapshot of class 11th. Now let's start with the author. Marga Minko was born in 1920, grew up in a family of 5 in Breda. Unlike her sister, brother, and parents, she went into hiding during World War II. In 1957, she made her debut as a writer with her Bitre Crude, that is, Bitter Herbs, the laconic and devastating story of a young girl who escapes through a back door from her when her family is arrested and ultimately discovers that she has lost everyone close to her. The book was a great success at home and abroad, with over 4 lakh copies sold in the Netherlands alone. New York followed at irregular intervals, that is the D. Andre Kant, the other side in the year 1959, N. League Huis, An Empty House in 1966, D. Val, The Fall in 1983, and D. Glazenberg, The Glass Bridge in 1986, and in 2004 she published Storing Interferences, a collection of stories. The following years, Marga Minko was awarded the prestigious Konstantinos Huygens Prizes for her entire overview, and in 2018, Minko won the P.C. Hooft Prize in 2019. One of the most important Dutch literary awards, the jury praised her as the author of a modest and intensely powerful body of work. Without psychologizing, without resorting the pathos or pretension, she enables us to understand and fully engage with an unconceivable reality. Now, let's begin with the introduction of the lesson. The Address by Marga Minko narrates the story of a lady, possibly the author herself, who after losing her entire family in the Holocaust returns to the address in order to collect all her family's possession that the author's mother had left with Mrs. Darling, a non-Jewish lady, before leaving her homeland. After the war was over, the author went to Mrs. Darling's house to collect all her past possessions. But to her surprise, Mrs. Darling refused to recognize her. In a second attempt, the author rings the doorbell of Mrs. Darling's house, only to be welcomed by her daughter. She offered her a cup of tea and asked her to wait for Mrs. Darling. As the author observed the room, she saw the cup and other utensils her mother had left with Mrs. Darling. She also came across the tablecloth with burn mark on it. She left the house without waiting for Mrs. Darling to return. Now students, let's start with the theme of the story. The story is a touching account of a girl who goes in search of her mother's belongings after the Second World War in Holland. But even after finding that she so much wanted to touch, to see, to feel and remember, she leaves everything behind as it could not bring her dead mother's back. She decides to move on and live with only memories of the former times. The address that held so much importance till she visited that place lost its value, and girl realized that it couldn't got her nothing but pain. So let's begin with the characters. The first character is the daughter. She is the narrator, that is Marga Minko, who returns to Holland to go to the address where her mother's precious belongings were kept. As normalcy had returned after the Second World War in Holland, she wanted to see all possession that were a bond between her family and herself. Mrs. S, the narrator's mother in the story. The narrator's mother has been called as Mrs. S. She was a simpleton who could not see the manipulating and fraudulent nature of Mrs. Darling. Her acquaintance, she trusted Mrs. Darling and allowed her to keep all her precious belongings for the time being. Mrs. Darling. She has been described as an old acquaintance, that is the friend of Mrs. S. And after a long gap, she appeared again during the war, that is the Second World War. She possessed a cunning personality. She is most reluctant to recognize the daughter and does not allow her to enter the house. Now students, let's start with the explanation of the chapter, the address. Mrs. Darling's indifferent attitude towards the narrator. The narrator knocked at the door of a house, but the door was open only a little. That is, a bit part of the door was open. She asked the owner if she knew her. The narrator told her that she was Mrs. S.'s daughter, but the owner, that is Mrs. Darling of the house, Mrs. Darling denied knowing her. Mrs. Darling's face gave absolutely no sign of recognition and she kept staring at her without speaking any word. The narrator thought that perhaps she was mistaken and had rung the wrong bell. Then the narrator got a glimpse of her mother's green knitted cardigan, which Mrs. Darling was wearing. This confirmed to her that she had reached the correct address. But Mrs. Darling excused herself by saying that she could not talk to the girl that day and she should come again later. Then she shamelessly closed the door. Someone watching the narrator from the window. The narrator stood for some time on the steps even after the door closed, but someone watching her from the bay window. The girl presumed that someone other than Mrs. Darling must be watching her and must have asked why the narrator came here. The narrator remembers what her mother had told her. After this refusal, the narrator walked back to the station thinking about her mother. Her mother had given her Mrs. Darling's address years ago. It had been in the first half of the war. The narrator's mother told her about Mrs. Darling, an old acquaintance. That is, Mrs. Darling was an old friend of Mrs. S. That is the mother of Marga Minko. She also informed her that every time when Mrs. Darling came, she took something home with her. The reason Mrs. Darling gave for her actions was that she wanted to save all the good things. As the narrator's mother would not be able to save everything if they had to leave suddenly. The narrator's mother had accepted the idea. She was rather obliged towards Mrs. Darling that she was carrying such heavy luggage every time she visited, as if was reality risky during the war. The narrator remembers when she met Mrs. Darling. The narrator arrived at the station without having paid much attention to the things on the way. She was walking in a familiar place again for the first time since the war. She didn't want to upset herself with the sight of streets and houses full of memories from her previous time. In the train, she remembered the first time when she had seen Mrs. Darling. It was a morning, when the day her mother had told her about Mrs. Darling, who was wearing a brown coat and shapeless hat. The narrator had asked from her mother if she lived far away, and she was carrying a heavy coat and a case. Her mother told her that Mrs. Darling lived at number 46 Marconi Street. Initially, the narrator was reluctant to see the family's old belongings. The narrator had remembered the address but waited a long time to go there. Initially, after the war was over, she was not interested in all their belongings lying with Mrs. Darling. She was afraid to see the things that had belonged to her dead mother. She did not want to see their belongings lying in Mrs. Darling's house, in boxes and cupboards, and needing to be put back in their old places again. She was scared that the things might make her very nostalgic, but gradually her life became normal again, and one day she became curious to know about all the possession. The narrator decides to visit again. After her first visit did not yield any result, she decided to visit a second time. This time, a girl of about 15 opened the door, as her mother was not at home. The narrator asked about Mrs. Darling. She was told that Mrs. Darling was not at home. She followed the girl along the passage, and she noticed an old fashioned iron candle holder which they never used. They went into the living room. The narrator was horrified. She found herself in the midst of their old belongings, but they oppressed her as they were kept in strange surroundings and in a very tasteless manner. She was hurt to see her family's belongings lying in a tasteless way with the ugly furniture and muggy smell. That is, the room was over congested and having a suffocated smell, bad smell, foul smell is coming out. A tablecloth, the silver cutlery, and even the still life showing the apple on the tin plate belongs to her family. The narrator's keen observation of Mrs. Darling's daughter. She was keenly observing the girl, who had a broad back similar to Mrs. Darling. The girl was placing teacup for tea to be served. She was pouring tea from a white teapot which had a gold border on the lid, and then she took out some spoons from the box. All this crockery and cutlery belonged to the narrator's family, but perhaps the girl was not aware of this fact. She cracked a joke about eating dinner in those antique plates. The narrator also found a burn mark on the tablecloth. The narrator indirectly hinted to the girl that they missed things which are either missing from their original place or have been loaned to somebody. The narrator remembers about polishing the silver outlet. The narrator remembers the time when her mother was alive and the narrator was at home. Either she is bored or might be she is ill. Her mother asked her to polish the silver cutlery. She was surprised to hear that the cutlery that they were using was made of silver, and even Mrs. Darling's daughter was surprised to hear that they were using silver cutlery for everyday eating. The narrator's final resolution. The narrator decided that she could not stay there anymore. Because the address was correct, but the narrator didn't want to remember it anymore. She felt that the objects were linked to a memory of a time which no longer existed. They had lost their values in a strange surroundings. She comforted herself by thinking that her present house was too small to accommodate all the old stuff, that is, the belonging of her mother. She left the house, leaving all her family's belonging behind. Now students, here we finishes with the explanation of the chapter, and there are few highlights about the chapter, and I hope this makes the chapter crystal clear to you all. The narrator decides to visit the address that was given to her by her mother, where all the family's precious possessions were kept safely by Mrs. Darling. The first time when the narrator visited the address, Mrs. Darling behaved in the most absurd manner. She refused to recognize the narrator and did not let her enter the house. So the narrator returns empty-handed. The narrator is reminded of her mother, that is Mrs. S, who had given the address to her years ago, when in spite of war, they were living in Holland, and she saw Mrs. Darling, who was introduced to her as an old acquaintance of her mother. The narrator noticed many precious items missing from their places. Then Mrs. S told her that Mrs. Darling was helping her by taking all tablecloths, silver cutlery, antique plates, large vases, and crockery to her house to keep in safe custody, in case they had to leave the house suddenly. The narrator decided to revisit the house of Mrs. Darling as she felt the urge to see all her mother's belongings. She wanted to touch them, to feel them, and to remember them. On her second visit to 46 Marconi Street, she could get entry into the house of Mrs. Darling, and their old daughter opened the door. Her mother was not at home. The girl led her to the living room, where, to the narrator's dismay, things belonging to her mother were arranged in a very bad manner. Mrs. Darling's daughters innocently told the narrator that they were using all the antique plates, crockery, and cutlery. The narrator took an impulsive decision to leave everything behind, as the precious objects owned by her mother had lost their values. Also, these objects associated with her mother were now in a strange surrounding. The narrator decided to forget her past, as it brought back bitter memories. Her mother was no more there to revive the pleasant memories. The narrator walked out of Mrs. Darling's house, deciding that she would never come back to his house to see or to take away the family's possession, and she had no place to keep all of it. So here we finishes with the video. Hope the video is clear, chapter is clear. Thanks for watching the video. Be safe, be healthy. Thank you.